But that brings us on to our Nerd News Network segment.
Yes.
You know
Another
what you
week
need
of
to do,
news.
Rory?
Come up
You
with a
need
jingle.
to create a little like animation and then change the scene so it makes it look like we're sitting behind desks. Breaking news. So you said about you want the Green Lantern done right, and I completely fucking agree because the Green Lantern is a goated character with so much stuff there. So we knew there was a show being worked on, and that kind of disappeared. But we told it was still being worked on, but they've
Delayed
going
it.
like kind of quiet on it because they want to get it done right.
Yeah.
We've had an update on that. So they have confirmed that in the Green Lantern show, they are changing their main character.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're changing their main characters, which was going to be Alan Scott and Guy Gardner, to Jon Stewart.
Right.
I like that change personally. Jon Stewart is very, very good. Alan Scott and Guy Gardner would have been very interesting to see in live action, I think. But I definitely think Jon Stewart would align better with stuff that we already have going on in the DCEU.
Right.
So if James Gunn's not literally wiping everything clean,
and
he's going to pick and choose bits, I think if we would say he just takes the Suicide Squad and Black Adam, for instance, I think Jon Stewart can fit in alongside that relatively well.
Okay.
But it's at least good news that the Green Lantern show is progressing.
Yes.
Next is time for me to have a little moan. There have been so many Reed Richard casting rumours and rumours and fan casts and all this shit. I shit you not. I can't remember what day it was, but I literally didn't even bother trying to write it down that day. I've gone back and tried to find a fair bit of it today. I shit you not, within an hour scrolling on Twitter, I saw 15 different actors linked to the role. Via semi-trustable news sources, legitimate news sources, and fan casts. This casting of Reed Richards, literally, people seem to care about it more than who's running their fucking country. And I'm saying that someone has a podcast about this shit.
Do you know what's funny is like this isn't even the first time we've talked about Reed Richards rumors.
What I mean? And don't get me wrong, some of these names I've doubled up on, but these seem to be the ones that I've seen the more reasonable outlets covering the chances of.
Yeah. It's funny because you've put a point on our notes where it's like, this is 20% fandom running wild and 80% Disney covering. And I genuinely do think it's maybe not necessarily even like Disney covering, but it's Disney's quite clearly doing a very good job of keeping whoever the cast is locked the fuck down.
And I think there is some PR people running interference here just to fuck with news sources.
Definitely a little bit. And then I think it's like the credible news sources. Obviously, the thing with news is everyone wants to be the first to break a story. So I think a lot of it is these news, like the credible ones, are trying to throw out these predictions so that down the line they can go, see, we were right. We were predicting it months ago.
And that is because of the fucking fandom and all their shitty fan cards. I say shitty, a lot of them are actually quite good, but everyone's going, oh, I think it should be this or this or this. News outlets have noticed that and gone, this has a lot of attention.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of, because there's this anticipation building for finding out who the Fantastic Four are, and it's been, the film was talked about fucking ages ago that we were going to be getting a new Fantastic Four film. We've got even more news of like it's going into production in January. Like it's getting closer to like actually being a thing that people more and more wanting to find out who's playing the roles. So because there's a lot of fan talk about it, as you say, these publisher or these news people are like, attention, we should get in on this attention. Let's just start chucking out our own rumors, and they don't have to click. They're never going to tell you their source. So it's probably nothing. It's probably a guy in the office who's sat there going, oh, well, I quite like Adam Driver to be Reed Richards. Boom, send out there. gets people talking about my personal prediction that I've just put under the banner of, and Disney's all not going to deny any of them, not going to
Yeah, because
accept
by
any of
denying
them.
it, you're half confirming someone else. So it's
Yeah,
just you just
exactly.
got to not acknowledge them. I
So
think Kevin should come on the podcast or send the actor on the podcast and announce who's playing Reed Richards via the podcast. Thoughts?
I think
It's
we
an
should
open
have.
invite, Kevin.
I think we should have Kevin, because then we can ask more questions than just Fantastic Four.
And also not risk getting the actor murdered for accidentally leaking something. Good questions. Good point. But these are the front runners based on what I can see from more credible outlets who I'd be inclined to trust a little bit more.
Yes.
Um, Diego Luna is the more recent, like, has popped out of nowhere. Who obviously plays Cassian Andor in Andor and Rogue One.
I feel that's just Andor hype.
That is going to be a fair bit of Andor hype. He doesn't. Looking at him, he kind of fits like the mental image of Reed Richards enough that people don't dislike it. He's a
Yeah.
very talented actor and he has relationships with Disney. I can see how a story like that could gain traction, but
Yeah.
the guy was probably just chilling about Disney HQ for something else on the day
Well,
other actors were seen coming and going, and they were like, he was auditioning for Reed Richards.
I definitely think this is someone that's gone, already got good relationships with Disney. He's in Andor. Also, that means he'd have good relationships with Marvel. But then if you think about it, Andor's got a fuck more seasons to go. He's going to be far too busy doing that to be starting production on Fantastic Four in January. So I think it's safe to assume that's not going to be on the cards.
The Fantastic Four, once they launch, are going to be a very big part of the MCU for a very long time. They do not need someone who's tied up with another character.
No.
Next up is someone that we've already seen on the big screen, John Krasinski. A lot of people are just going, do they just hold on to Krasinski? As each day passes, I grow less and less convinced that they will just keep Krasinski. I think we get a different one. I think they gave the fans their fan cast as the cameo in Multiverse of Madness, and I think they now want to go out and find their guy.
Yeah. I guess it comes down to how much they want to play into the multiverse thing. Sort of like they've positioned themselves very well that if they don't end up wanting to use him, it's fine. He was in a different universe. But if they do decide they want to use him, then it also works. Like they were smart about, we can do the fan service, and it actually positioned us in a very easy way to not back ourselves into a corner to have to use him.
Exactly. Next up, Adam Driver. Now, this is a really interesting one.
Yeah.
Because he has been connected to both Reed Richards and Doctor Doom. So what that tells me is he was at Disney HQ interviewing, test screening for a role, but no one has a fucking clue what it was.
Yeah. I mean, I could see him.
I love Adam Driver.
Yeah,
Don't like him for either of them roles.
The thing is, it's like he could very much just be there just for figuring out where he might fit into, like, interest in being in the MCU sort of thing. And just these are
I
big
could
roles
see
that
him as a mutant character. That I could back. I don't know who, but I could back that.
Yeah.
The next one, one that I hadn't considered, but I very much like. But I also think it's the least likely out of all of these. William Jackson Harper, who played Chidi in The Good Place on Netflix, absolutely goated comedy show if you have not watched it. Hori definitely hasn't.
No.
You should go watch it. It's very, very good. Very good actor. I enjoy him a lot. He could definitely do the role very well. he has already been cast in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Mm-hmm.
So some people, I think this is very much run by the fandom here. People have gone, oh, maybe he's going to be Reed.
On
But
cameo.
based on the character description, it sounds like whoever he's playing is kind of like a rebellion leader against Kang.
Okay.
I don't think that's going to be Reed.
No, I don't. Unless they're really trying to throw us off.
What I will say is I hope whoever he is playing is a long-term character and not a one-film wonder, because I love this actor and I don't want him to be wasted for one film in the MCU.
Yeah.
And this brings us on to my front runner and I'm gonna say it, my final prediction.
Oh.
For who is going to be Mr. Fantastic / Reed Richards in the MCU, Penn Badgley. He plays the main character in the Netflix show You.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a couple of reasons as to why I think he is our guy. Right, look, young enough that you could hold on to him for a while. And You has already finished filming its next season, or is wrapping up filming its next season, which could well be the last season.
Mm-hmm.
Which would then free him up completely for an extended period of time.
Yes, it would.
And as I said, with me growing less convinced of Krasinski, Adam Driver, I think, like you said, was probably just there to see where he could fit in the MCU.
Yeah.
Diego Luna, like we know, he's going to be far too busy, I think, to commit to such an important role. William Jackson Harper, already cast as a role in Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't think that's where we get introduced to Reed Richards in the MCU. No. So it's either, as far as I'm concerned, it's going to be Penn Badgley or someone that we haven't even heard of yet.
Yeah. I think...
And I don't mean heard of as in like an actor who like has come out of nowhere, although that would be fantastic. But someone like, if it's not any of these guys, Disney has thrown all these names out to throw us all off.
Yeah. I think...
And they nailed it.
My prediction... I do like the Penn Badgley. I would say my two runners would be John Krasinski and Penn Badgley, leaning towards Penn Badgley. I still think there's a slight chance they do stick with John Krasinski, because he is like somewhat of a fan favorite and to be in that role. For a long time he was, and he got his fan service to play it. So, but I do think that would be the easy choice for them to just go, well, we'll just stick with John Krasinski. I would lean more towards Penn Badgley. I think like he visually fits well into the role. As you say, like he's going to be free soon, but positioned quite well to be like tie himself into the MCU.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe there's like a very slight chance that maybe someone completely out the blue that this was all smoke and mirrors comes out and completely throws us off. But maybe they just pick some random background character from some of the earlier MCU films and go, actually, he was here all along, and choose that.
That would infuriate me in such an aggressive way.
Oh, it'd be great though. It'd be funny.
But on to some certified 100% happening casting rumors.
Oh.
So I guess not rumors, castings. Forgive me if I get this wrong. Yahya Abdul-Mateen has been cast as Wonder Man in the Wonder Man Disney Plus show.
Okay.
Wonder Man's a bit of an obscure character. I plan on doing a character profile on next week, but we have our guy. I don't know a lot about this actor. In fact, let me Google and see if anything that I recognise.
I can't even say I know much about Wonder Man. So.
Yeah, Wonder Man's a very, very obscure character. Oh, it's the actor who played Black Manta in the Aquaman films.
Oh, him. I know him.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, he was good. He's also been in the Watchmen TV show. He was in Candyman. He was in the latest Matrix film.
Okay.
He was in Us. Okay, he's got some very well received stuff under his belt here. Okay, I'm down. We
Sound.
will. I will discuss Wonder Man. I'll do a character profile for him for next week, so you guys understand what we got coming. All you need to know is it's probably going to have something to do with Wanda. So there you go. Your Scarlet Witch is going to be bopping about at some point soon.
Ooh.
Aubrey Plaza, who was part of Parks and Recreation alongside Chris Pratt, has been cast as the antagonist in the Agatha Coven of Chaos TV show.
So down.
I'm about it.
Yeah, same. Honestly.
Good actress. She has good relationships with a lot of the actors already in the MCU.
Yeah.
Like Lizzie Olsen and her did something together. Obviously, she did Parks and Recreation with Chris Pratt.
Yep. Yeah.
At this point, every actor's going to be in the MCU at some point.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a smart move. So
yeah, I think with the right cast, right script and right director, she could do very good. The Russo brothers have confirmed they are not going to be ready to return to direct any MCU films until at least the next decade.
yes.
Now, I'm really curious as to what they mean by ready to return. As in, they've got loads of films already planned that they want to do, so they don't have the time for it. Or if the style of films they had to make for Marvel is so different to what they are passionate about doing that they need a bit more time away from it because of how full on it is.
I think they're meaning they're not even MCU returning to the MCU or even considering projects is not even it's gonna be a decade before they even think about what projects they might come back and it's them saying we've got so many projects that we're more passionate about and wanting to work on.
Off till 2030.
Basically being yeah, no, we're not going back to. We have no plan or interest in going back to MCU to do anything with them for at least the next decade, till the end of the decade. They obviously have set projects they're working on and want to do, and until they're done, which probably is end of the decade, they won't even be thinking about a return. I don't think there's anything they have set plans or ideas that they want to do with the MCU. I think they'll wait. We're not going to see him for a bit. That's fine.
Yeah. And then my favourite bit of news this week, which I hadn't seen, but I stumbled across while making sure I had all the news. Keke Palmer. Now this might have just been for Halloween, but she kind of alluded to an interest in playing Rogue in the MCU.
Oh.
The post was on October 31st on Twitter, so it may well have just been that it was a Halloween costume.
Right.
That being said, if you look at the tweet, which I'll send you now, there's a proper photo shoot she's done in these outfits. So it might have been a little bit of both. I'll dress up as this is Halloween, but hey, Kevin, hit me up. And I'm going to be honest with you, she looks good in the vibe, and I back it. I back it so much.
I think this is definitely typical Americans love to especially celebrities who love doing stuff for Halloween. Definitely think this is just a great idea for a Halloween outfit. Gonna do a proper little photo shoot thing. Put it on Twitter. Knows it's gonna hit and get traction, and people are gonna talk about it like fucking crazy. And she obviously likes the character Rogue and would probably more than happily would love to play Rogue. So
I think it's one of the things where she's just gone to bat for herself a little bit.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. I think it's just she wanted to do this for Halloween. She thought, you know what? Also a good way to kind of just, you never know, maybe something will come from it, sort of thing.
Worst
yeah.
case scenario, Kevin sends me a DM and go, no thanks.
Yeah. Or
Best
worst
case
case scenario.
scenario, Kevin sees the mock up and goes, holy shit, get her in for a meeting right now.
Yeah. Or like straight to Router's room. We need to find a place for Rogue to be slotted in.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just an interesting one to keep an eye on. I would be so down for Keke Palmer to be the MCU's Rogue. I think she's a very talented actress. I think she would nail the vibe.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I'm willing to let it run. I'm willing to let it run.
It's one of those we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. But that is it for the Nerd News Network this week.
Yeah.